Good morning, lovely spirits. It's the wise one here, Mr. Salisu Seer. All praises to the horizon. Peace, wealth, and wisdom. Now, this morning I want to discuss life and death with you guys. In the Far East, they call it samsara, meaning when you're dealing with Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, the Far East teachings. They call the never-ending cycle of life and death that we experience samsara. And so I want to discuss this cycle of life and death that we all experience and are living right now. Because it's very important in regards to you as an eternal consciousness. We tend to tie everything to the physical. We never take a moment to think, what is life like if all one had was their thoughts? Meaning, you have your body, you have physical things to distract you from your thoughts. Imagine if all you had were your thoughts. Kind of like a man in prison, in solitude confinement. And so all he has truly is his thoughts. And so if the thoughts are not pure, if the experience if one's life experience were not positive, well, he has to sit kind of with all that negativity. There's nowhere to direct it or spread it out to. It's kind of stuck with you. And so that's why I say our lives in eternity, meaning you're conscious. Of course you experience life through the physical. You have dreams, so that gives you a sense of experience of life without the body. But so there's still movement and, distraction. Now just imagine, oneself with just oneself. Not even your physical body to look at to distract you, but just your thoughts. This being you, your consciousness. This is what consciousness is. This is what existing is as just consciousness. It's a matter of that. Meaning, no movement, no action, but just your thoughts. And so if one has no experience, no thoughts, so I guess this is good. But now if one has an abundance of thought from past experience, so this is all there is with them. Meaning this is this company. This is the company of that conscious. And so I'm trying to paint the picture so you guys can grasp in depth you as just consciousness. I know it's hard because we have a physical body. Like I said, this is a distraction. Even if you're sitting still, but you still can start to play with your hands or look around. And I want you to kind of grasp oneself just like if your eyes are closed and you're sitting in darkness, there's nothing to see. There's nowhere to move. And so your thoughts become your company. And so hopefully those thoughts, are pure, are positive. Now, when you're dealing with the Far East, you have what is known as samsara. When I say Far East, as I said, I'm speaking of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, the Far East teachings. They have what is known as samsara, which is the never-ending wheel or cycles of life and death. Basically being born, then dying, as we all experience, and then the rebirth of that spirit into one of the 6 realms of samsara. Now, samsara is the life side of the coin as well as the death side of the coin. So samsara is what we know as life. life consisting of both living and dying. The rebirth, you can look at it as the horizon. And so it makes that cycle or that wheel a never-ending cycle or a never-ending term. And so I want you guys to grasp, when you're dealing with samsara, you have Yama, which is Lord over this never-ending wheel or cycle of life and death. You also have Yami, which is the female counterpart. Now I want you guys to grasp, Yama and Yami are Lord over samsara. The reason you have two is because you have male and female bodies. Meaning I'm a male, you have females. And so the whole life is like that. You have male worlds, you have female worlds. All worlds are body. And so many people do not grasp that. When you're dealing with these Far East teachings, or many of the teachings we have in today, they're speaking of physical things. It's just a matter of us not seeing these things, or when we see these things, we do not know that it is these things being spoken of. And so it's a simple thing I want you guys to grasp. When you're dealing with samsara and the Lord over it, which is Yama, Yama has a feminine counterpart, Yami, because of that regards. All worlds are bodies, and so you have male worlds and female worlds. Now, these 6 realms of samsara are in the spine. As I said, all worlds are bodies, and so they're speaking of the world that we live in and die in. So, the 6 realms of samsara are in the spine. Now, these 6 realms are, you have the realm of the gods. This is your devas. I guess you can say this is your reward realm. You know, all they do is enjoy the pleasures of life. You have your realm of the demigod. This is your asuras. They're kind of angry. They always fight with the gods, or the devas, and the humans. Now you have the realm of the humans. This is Manusia, I believe. And so this is like the world for your physical imbalances. You also have the realm of the animal. And this is those who move on impulse. Those who have not raised in conscious to where they put thought and consideration into their actions. But they just move on impulse. In that they afflict themselves as well as others. Whatever they're moving on. Kind of like animals. They afflict one another. It's no real thought. They move on impulse. Instinct. And so, the realm of the animal is that. Those amongst men who have not controlled their emotional state enough to where they put thought into things, but the pride kicks in, the anger kicks in, they move on instinct. No control. Now you also have the realm of hell. This is known as Naraka. And this is for those who are kind of lost in the negative things in life. You know, those of us who kind of live the fast life are, you know, we're attached to things that are not so much healthy for us as well as others. You're running around and you kind of get, you know, excitement off of shooting people and fighting, and you get it? But you get pleasures out of this. That, meaning those kind of, you know, lost into the negative things, get excitement out of it, kind of like a child almost. And so you get excitement off of, you know, saying negative things to people, hurting people's feelings. You get my point? Kind of like a comedian in a sense. They get pleasures out of, you know, snapping on people. Now, of course, they know snapping does hurt your feelings because they experience it when it happens to them, but so there's still a level of pleasure in it. This is not to insult comedians or make them feel bad. I'm just giving you examples of how we can become lost in things, not even realizing, like, well, yeah, that is true. I may be a little lost in, negative thing. I never looked at it that way because it gives me pleasures. You understand? And so hell or Naraka is for those spirits. Meaning we all live physical lives and then we die. We just have the energy within, the conscious within. So this continues on into one of these 6 realms that I'm explaining. And so Naraka is for those spirits that kind of have not gained wisdom to understand that the things that you are getting pleasures from or joy from, it may not be a joyous thing on the opposite end. And so whatever you do, you want to match. If what you're doing is bringing you joy, make sure it's a joyous thing for whatever else is involved. We don't measure things in that way. We kind of just live. And so that realm is for that. Now you have the realm of the ghosts. This is, the invisible ones. But they are substance matter, but the invisible ones, you're dead. Now, as I said, these 6 realms of samsara being the cycles of life and death. Of course, we live, die, and then we are reborn into one of these 6 realms. Of course, this being, the spirit or the energy within continuing on. Kind of like when you're awake, you fall asleep, you dream. The consciousness, the spirit continuing on. And so you have your 6 realms of samsara, which are your 6 parts of the spine, that being the cervical, upper thoracic, lower thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and coccyx. And so the descriptions that you are being given in the Hinduism text or the Buddhist text of samsara, the descriptions of how it is in these different realms, it's explaining the spine and how, when we die, our spirits, our energies will return to that spinal chamber. This would be your hall of Amenti. If you're speaking of ancient Kemetic science, or the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, this would be your hall of Amenti. And so it's simple. All worlds is bodies. You have a body, you have cells within your body. When those cells die, the energy within them will return to your spinal chamber, to one of those 6 parts, depending on where it belongs, emotionally and consciously, because this is all it is now, emotion and consciousness. This is why in the beginning I wanted you guys to kind of grasp yourself as consciousness, no body. And so it's a deep thing. Now a spirit will be bound to this never-ending cycle of life and death, which is samsara, until they obtain nirvana, which is known as the blowing out. And so this is a matter of wisdom, them obtaining wisdom, the wisdom of God or Brahma, as well as blowing out or exhaling, meaning, letting go or being satisfied, fulfilled. We live our lives doing the same thing, engaging in the same things, partaking in the same things, never being satisfied. The man that sips alcohol, and so he's never satisfied, meaning he never reaches a point where he say, okay, I've had enough. You understand? Some do, yes. But so there's other things they direct. You get my point? It's not about one thing. It's not about alcohol. It's not about you being addicted to cigarettes or sex or this. It's about me just explaining how us always wanting to do something or be something or indulge in something or take something never ends, no matter what it is. You never become fulfilled fulfilled or satisfied. A person falls in love, they get a spouse. It runs its course. They get another one. They don't say, I experienced that. I'm fulfilled. I know now what that's like. Men become attached. And so, nirvana is that, meaning the blowing out or the exhaling, as I like to put it. It is a matter of that, letting go, being satisfied, fulfilled. And so this is the hardest thing for most people, I guess. It's not even a thought. And so I want you guys to grasp. Nirvana is that. It's the matter of when one spirit or consciousness, this is what we all truly are. When an individual reaches a true God conscious of self, kind of truly understanding all is one as well as all being separated, fully grasping life and everything in totality, becoming fulfilled or satisfied as well. So, if I never get to exist, so I am fulfilled, I have already, it was good. Most men do never reach that, in their existence. Man wants to exist forever. He makes statues. He wants to keep things forever. And it's a matter of the lack of his understanding. Now, when you're dealing with the understandings of the Far East, this being Buddhism, Hinduism, these things, I'll wrap them all into one nutshell. You have God, or Brahma. In the West, we say God. God is unseen, all-knowing. One thing, whole. For God to experience life, so God must manifest out. And so when you're dealing with the Far East teachings, this unseen God, this one thing, manifests out into all the physical things you see, whether it be a tree, an animal, a person. It manifests out physically as all these different outcomes. Therefore, you can say this God can experience every outcome of physical life. And so you have physical dog, physical man, a tree, many different physical things. All these things just being Brahma, that unseen manifesting physically for experience. Now, before Brahma can do this, of course, he manifests into the Atma. This being what we know as semen. So that semen that is within all man, this is what he manifests into first, the Atma, the substance. So he goes from unseen to the substance, or the Atma. And it is that substance or Atma, which is God, semi-physical, that manifests into the many physical things you see. That is what reincarnates into the many different bodies. And so, I'm trying to get you guys to grasp. Many of you will say, how does something just manifest out of nothing? Like air. Imagine God like air. You can't see it. But as it starts to take shape and form, becoming cloud, you start to see it. And then you get the water. Like that. Manifesting from nothing or unseenness. But you've seen this in real life with air becoming cloud, then water. And so look at Brahman as that. Like when a man thinks and then he ejaculates from those thoughts. That ejaculation manifests from unseen thought. Meaning that unseen thought manifested out as semen. No different as air manifests out as water. And so it's a simple thing to grasp. Like I said, before Brahma can manifest out into all the physical bodies, he manifests as the Atma, or the Jiva. Jiva, Atma. These being two separate things. One being the spirit or semen within, a man or the bodies. It doesn't have to just be a man, anybody. And the Atma is, the spirit of God, you can say. Remove body, so you can get a better understanding. Imagine a man having lustful thoughts, then ejaculating, but with no body. And so that ejaculation is him manifesting out. From there, that semen, of course, will, turn into what we know as full body. It's the same with my daughter, my son. Start as semen, manifest into physical form. But, so the semen is first. This is the Atma. That spirit that reincarnates and, is subjected to samsara. Samsara being the bodies. This is your cycle of life and death. And so I want you guys to grasp. When we reach nirvana, or escape samsara, it's a matter of escaping that separation in return. Meaning we are all just God separated from himself for experience, of course. And so I'm Brahma, or God. You Brahma, or God. The dog is Brahma, or God. Manifested in its way as an experience of living. Meaning God gets to experience many different outcomes of life. We are being God. We just don't know. And the reason we don't know is because God is all-knowing. God is whole. The opposite of all-knowing and wholeness is separation, not knowing. And so we are all just the flip side of God, meaning God whole, and then God separated into thousands and billions and trillions of different outcomes. In that, now God is lost. And so this is the point. Like I said, God is whole. God is all-knowing. There's nothing in that. Me by myself being all-knowing. So I have to separate myself. I need many different outcomes of myself. You get it? This is the flip side of that, being whole and all-knowing. And so we are the flip side of God. Not to say separate, but just the flip side. You get it? And so we live our lives separated, not truly realizing, hold on, I am God, you are God too. It's a wink of the eye. You're one outcome, I'm the other. This is cool. We don't view each other like that. Hey, what's up, God? What's up? We use those words, but we don't see it in that way and say, man, you Brahma, I'm Brahma. That's the great secret. You experiencing that outcome, I'm experiencing this outcome, but we are just one thing. Shh, don't tell nobody. It's like that. And so for a man to obtain that understanding, you say, that man just killed that man. No. You say, I just killed myself. That's interesting. There's experience there. You get it? A man killing another man. So this is just God killing himself. But, so there's experience in both of those outcomes. Meaning the guy who killed the other guy, so there's an after that. And so he lives that. That's experience. The guy that was killed, so he feels a certain kind of way about it. This is his spirit, his consciousness now. It's unstable. But there's experience there too. And so for God, it's just all experience. It's the point. I separate self. Now I am individual. In that I am lost. I am not all-knowing anymore. But it doesn't matter because this is the whole point I did it for. To experience myself being lost and not knowing. Otherwise, there ain't nothing to do. If I know everything and I am everything, and what's to do? So everything must be separated so it can interact, and you get it? And so we are like that. And so, of course, the man that gets killed, for him, it's a horrible experience because he's living it. He doesn't know I'm Brahma. This is just an outcome. No big deal. It's just an outcome. The other man has the other outcome. He's rich. This is an outcome. Him being rich doesn't matter if I'm poor and he's rich. It's just outcomes of one being experiencing. We all started as the semen or the Atma, the spirit. And so it's a deep thing you have to grasp. All semen, same. Don't worry, it's the same. And so escaping samsara, the never-ending cycle of life and death, is a matter of that. To see and know, the full understandings of life. Therefore, you don't take it personal. When we take it personal, then we end up in one of the 6 realms of samsara. Never coming to terms with things. You get it? Eventually blending back with Brahma. To be, separated again and, be Brahma lost, not knowing, an individual. You get it? And so that will continue on forever until one reaches nirvana, where he truly grasps. He becomes satisfied in knowing. You say, I get what life is about. I don't have to keep going through. I don't have to keep getting stuck in samsara. I get it. I'm fulfilled. I don't need to indulge into anything else anymore. I'm good. Like a kid playing, he becomes an adult. He says, I'm fulfilled with all the things I did as a kid. Roller skating, riding bikes. I don't know. If I never do that again, it's no big deal. I won't die. This is how most adults are. He said, if I can't play Connect 4, I wouldn't die. Oh, yeah. Who cares? I'm fulfilled. I played that enough as a kid. That, being fulfilled, satisfied. This is the blowing out. We inhale, exhale. To release and let go. To be satisfied. People die, we be attached. To just be able to let go. Understanding. All is well. This is just a flip side of an experience. On the flip side, we are all just one being. That one being is all-knowing. Whole. Whole meaning just itself. And so there's truly nothing in that. There's no movement. There's nothing. And so to experience, to move, to live, to do things, you need things to interact with. And so as I said, we are all Brahma. On the flip side, meaning Brahma is whole and all-knowing. And so you are Brahma experiencing life. Not known. Not whole, meaning you are you, I am me. We are separate, even though on the flip side, we're just one. And so we live separated, now lost. But it's good for the experience, meaning man doesn't know that. And so it makes the life so much different things, chaotic. But so this is all the point. You get it? It's nothing to take personal. Man runs up, blow your brains out. It's nothing to take personal. If you understand, I just shot myself in the head. I have experience now in jail. You get it? We don't look at it like that, of course, because we are the actual experience going through it at the time. Meaning we don't understand these things. So. We don't understand we're all just God separated for the purpose of being separated so we can be lost, so we can interact and have life. So it's a beautiful, deep thing. It's like unity. We all are here, being as though God is whole and all-knowing. Once God is separated into all the many things you see, meaning me, you, this thing, that thing, all is pulling to still be what it is, which is God. All-knowing, whole. So we like, no, you got to be like this. You got to be like that. This is how it go. What you doing? We reaching to have control and be all-knowing. We say, man, I'm living in this life. I don't even know what's going on. We get aggravated because, you get it? God is lost now and he don't like it. This is us all individually. God is lost. He don't like it. Because he doesn't understand. I manifested for this purpose, to not know and to experience that part. Not knowing. Not being whole. And so we all pulling to, be whole and all-knowing. And in that, it makes for conflict because that's not the point. The whole point of God, you can say, manifesting into the multiplicity of things you see, was for that purpose. Not knowing, not having control, experiencing that. And so this is what we do. And so we try to unify. Say, man, unity. If we can just all unify, one thought, one mind, one body type of movement, we'd be good. Life would be great. It wouldn't. Life is what it is for that purpose. To be separated. We are all already coming from a whole, a unity, a one mind. We already coming from that. To be individual, to be separate, to be lost, and to just experience, not being all-knowing. You just kind of flow through. This is God experiencing, not knowing. In us not knowing that, we reach to unify. In that, you get conflict because God manifested this way for that purpose, to not know. All we need to be unified on is that everyone be individual, have freedom to express themselves without being judged. If a man doesn't look like how you are familiar with people looking, start to judge. Say he should have did this, he should wear that. That's shit he got on his whack. You get it? It's a matter of letting all just be themselves and freely expressing themselves as individuals to the fullest, thinking however lost or wise they choose. You say, man, that man is dumb. That's just Brahma, enjoying being stupid. Yes, that man doesn't know he's Brahma stupid. If he did, it wouldn't be Brahma enjoying being stupid. You get it? You see that man killing a man. You don't get lost and be like, oh, he's killing. He's bad. It says Brahma experiencing being lost and killing. If he knew he was that, he probably wouldn't do it. You get it? In us trying to unify, we mess up the whole point of the manifestation. In us trying to unify and control one another, we mess up, causing all the chaos we see. It's not a matter of unifying. It's a matter of what I said. Unifying on agreeing to be separate. Freely expressing oneself. When I say separate, does that mean opposing? No. If you know that I am just God experiencing an outcome, not knowing, because that's the point. If I know, then I ain't experiencing nothing. And so if you can grasp everybody's that, there's nothing to be upset about. If everyone knew that, no one would try to control anyone. There would be no conflict. You get it? The conflicts come from thoughts of unifying. Unity being on the same accord. But we are all to be as different as we can to get all out of the experience. Meaning if you are completely different than me, so this is a complete different outcome for God, which we all are on the flip end. whole and together, just one thing. And so one will live and go through the cycles of samsara until, one comes to terms with things, becoming completely wise where they grasp all things. Come from that one source. I'm speaking on an individual level because y'all are individuals. I'm sure y'all cannot possibly fathom, like, how is everything in life just one thing? How could that be? Will I still have my own individual? You get it? We kind of still lost an individual. You say, I can't. If we all just one body, one spirit, one mind, can I still think though? Like, well, I know that. You get it? Man can't truly grasp in totality. But so this is the point. All you have to know, God is whole, but knowing it, meaning knowing I am God manifested, experiencing myself. Not being in control, not being whole, not being all-knowing, but being the opposite, being separated, being lost, not knowing. That's what lost is, not knowing. And living is fun. It's fun to not know. Well, I know. You get it? You see the point? Life ain't that fun to me. It's not that. I just nothing to me. It's just, I know. It's weird. It's like, I sit by the river. It's nothing to truly do. Because I already know. Like, it fucks it up. Like, I am not attached to anything. I grasp life. You get it? But so this is the point. It makes for life to be good. Meaning if all of you guys grasped as I did, well, this whole world would be a heaven. You make good use of the experience. In y'all not knowing as I do, so I'm stuck in y'all reality, which is God lost. God doesn't know. Opposing one another and trying to figure it out. And in that, I know. Meaning I don't get mad at y'all because I know. You get it? It takes away everything. Nothing's nothing when you're really wise. It's just, that's supposed to be that way. Meaning I understand that we are all God separated. And so, of course, we're all lost and confused and trying to control the next person because we're God separated. And so in that, it takes away everything. Meaning if I see someone blow someone's head off, it don't get me so. Nothing's nothing. I don't want you to look at it in a bad way, like it's a fucked up existence. It's no different than not knowing. Meaning y'all live y'all lives, y'all don't have wisdom. Y'all don't truly know. Y'all kind of, it's no different than that. Meaning life ain't nothing to y'all either. It's the same thing. It's just the experience. For y'all, it's just, packing on a lot of emotion from those experiences. If you truly grasp it, it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't grasp. But so this is the point. Man is supposed to acquire wisdom to fully grasp. Okay. Enjoy being lost. This is why sometimes I curse. I do things unorthodox because it doesn't matter. It's me taking a time. Say, I'm lost. It's fun. It's fun to not know or to act like you don't. Say, I didn't know cursing you out hurts your feelings. I didn't know that. You get it? I didn't know if I slapped the dog shit out of you. I didn't know if I said, fuck you, I'd slap the dog shit out. I didn't know that would make people that don't speak like that mad. I didn't know that. You have to do that so you can experience. Meaning y'all being lost in this life, enjoy it. Because on the flip side, you know all. You all. And there's nothing in that. There's nothing in you already knowing what I'm going to do. There's nothing in you watching a movie that you've seen already. You get it? Enjoy being lost. You see the next man lost. Or not like you want him to be. You enjoy it. That's an outcome. I mean, it's just life. So life is a deep thing. You guys try to grasp. Hopefully this video was clear in my explainings. Thoughts are hard to express. It doesn't always manifest out exactly as it's seen in the mind. And you guys know this when you're trying to explain certain things that, you know, you may kind of have an idea in your mind. It doesn't come out exactly how you've seen it in your mind. Even if you're a rapper, you say, man, I got these ideas for this music video, but it never comes out exactly as you had it in your mind. But close is good enough. You get it? So thoughts is like that. Speaking is the same. I can't get the words to be as clear as it is in my mind, but I'm trying. You get it? I'm trying to get the words to paint the picture as clear as possible. So hopefully it was clear. In any event, it's the wise one here, Mr. Salisu said. Peace, wealth, and wisdom.